Happy Friday, everybody. Well, I guess it's Happy Friday. I've got a longer form video that I'm going to give you guys later this afternoon. But for right now, it seems like we're losing all of our heroes from the 80s. Yesterday, Hulk Hogan passed away. A lot of people will talk to you and tell you that Hogan had a complex life. And he did. But if you go back and you look at the legacy, just the wrestling legacy, and how he treated the fans, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a real American hero. Now, I'm sure that he had his off days, and I'm sure that he was, not the nicest to every single fan that he met, but his legacy is undeniable. And the internet, I saw a thing with Ric Flair yesterday talking to TMZ, and he said social media and the internet can be so cruel and so cold. And he's right. He's right. People will absolutely tear people apart for their personal choices and try to destroy their legacy as it is and as it was, rather than really focus on, I guess the happiness that he left behind due to the things that he did as a younger man. Because what you can't take away from Hogan, no matter what, is that he was charismatic. He brought people joy back in the 80s and even into the 90s when the NWO was formed. So I'm not here to talk about the things that he said or did in his own personal life. I just wanted to talk to you guys for just a minute or two about what he meant in the cultural zeitgeist of the 1980s. So for those of you that weren't born close to Memphis, where I live, or weren't born in the 80s, wrestling was huge. It went from a territorial thing to Vince McMahon pretty much buying up most of the territories, and thus the WWF was born. Hogan was instrumental in helping to shed a massive spotlight on wrestling in general. Everybody knows Hulk Hogan. These days, like I said, maybe for less altruistic things than back then. But back then, Hogan told you to pray, drink your milk, and eat your vitamins. And that's what you did as an 80s kid or a 70s kid. Maybe even some 90s kids. You went and you tried to be the best person that you could possibly be. And that shaped an entire generation in the same way that the Nintendo Entertainment System shaped an entire generation. Stephen King books shaped an entire generation. Certain things are larger than the person themselves. And the persona of Hulk Hogan, wrestling never would have gotten to the heights that it got without Hogan. That's just basic fact. Somebody else might have come along and they might have, done a few things, got wrestling on the map for just a minute. But even though Hogan hasn't been physically in good enough shape to wrestle in years due to multiple injuries and surgeries and things like that, even though he hadn't been able to be physically active in the ring in years, his legacy is one that he tried to bring joy to people. He tried to either make them smile in his original persona or provide a totally different outlook based on his Hollywood Hogan persona that he started with the NWO in 1996. But either way, like I said, Hogan's lasting legacy as a wrestler from the outside looking in. Can't be denied. And it can't be denied or misspoken about how big of an impact he had on that legacy and on that particular business. He was getting ready to start his own thing with Eric Bischoff, of all people. He was going to start a new wrestling promotion, but unfortunately he didn't get to see it come to fruition. They've said on the internet that that Bischoff and company are going to continue on in honor of Hogan. So at least something will be there. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to say rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. I can't judge you as another human being on your actions. I'm not going to try to be a millennial or be, somebody from a different generation and say, hey, this is all the bad things that he did. Let me tear him down. I'm not going to do that. I'm not saying he's an angel either. So don't come for me, internet. I'm not saying that he didn't mess up, that he didn't make mistakes. But I'm going to say that in his personal life, he was human. So, if you guys are old enough to drink, old enough to watch this channel, you probably are. If you, pour one out for the Hulkster this evening. Rest in peace, Hulk. Thanks for your legacy. Thanks for all the matches. Andre the Giant, The Rock, all of the matches that you gave us and provided entertainment. I told a coworker yesterday, soon as he got through the pearly gates, you know who the first voice that he heard was? Ooh, yeah. So can you imagine the Mega Powers being back together? Anyway, guys, I got another video coming for you later today. Hope you've enjoyed this one for what it is. And we'll catch you in the next video.